Zoom and boom, everyone! We are live. It is Monday, September the 21st. And yes, we are live for According to Dash Bros, episode number 49. Apple Dash joining me as always. Spiky Dash here with you. It is finally fall. And yes, new headwear. New headwear for AD.
I was thinking I wasn't going to get this till like November.
That's what it said, honestly? It said November? Wow.
First week in November.
Wow, that's 2 months early.
Yeah.
Wow, that's all right. Hey. And they're saying right now how much the Postal Service sucks with its late delays in delivery. It's like there's a positive sign.
Amazon.
Oh, well, okay. But still, regardless, that's a very
the U.S. Customs in California got their together. We got a chat.
Yes. Hey, Joshua.
Hey, how's it going?
Good to have you back.
Where you been?
Well, or maybe the customs a couple chat hasn't worked because that could be the case too. So we didn't see anything. That could be a possibility too. So yeah. And you also have some, I'm sure, some news to share about what we opened with last time as well. You're an employed man now.
Yes. I officially start my job at McDonald's tomorrow.
Yes.
Finally got a job.
Yes. Oh, okay, school started for you. Okay, that's right, Joshua. I think you mentioned that to us. Yes. Yep, that's right. Yes. So, well, good to have you back. So, because it has been a while, but now it is fall. It has felt like it recently. These very, very chilly, cool nights. But a lot going on, a lot to talk about as always. Obviously, we're going to start off with our usual segments, of course. Fresh Pony Soapbox. This was just posted today in Equestria Daily, so we'll talk about these topics.
Every Tuesday or something?
Usually on Tuesdays, but actually lately it's been whenever they get enough topics to post one up.
No, this is Monday. Never mind.
Yes, yeah. I just said. Did I not just say it's Monday? Yeah, there you go. But not getting our days straight as usual.
COVID.
Yeah, COVID.
They all blend together.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Together. We
blame COVID. Yes, it's an easy thing to blame. So yeah, we'll talk about that. Of course, random weird news story, and then we'll dive into the cup of topics as we usually do. A lot of sports things to discuss, a couple pony things to discuss. So we'll get into that as well. But first, we will dive into the soapbox, brand new. And there are a couple of good ones in here.
Yeah, he said before the stream there's a lot of good ones tonight.
Yes, yeah, there are a few really intriguing ones in here, so this will be good. So headlines here include new types of warriors.
Okay.
A chance for cozy ? That one intrigued me.
No.
Yeah, I know, but we'll see where this person's coming from. Self-entitlement is not magic.
Okay.
And then this last one intrigued me. Princess Celestia was not out of character in season 9.
Okay.
That one is intriguing to me too. So, all right, here we go. New types of warriors. Oh, no author listed, so I guess I want to remain anonymous. So, for years we've seen the Royal Guards protecting the peace and mostly the princesses, except for Twilight. But we still don't know more about them, like history, training, ranks, and fighting style.
Mm-hmm.
This was the second reason Flash Sentry should have appeared, for he would explain about which he will when he trains Gallus. That's true, because Gallus ended up on the Royal Guard.
Mm-hmm.
However, other kingdoms seem to have their own Royal Guards with their own armor designed to distinguish them from others. Royal Guards have existed for 5,000 years, with every civilization had their own from ancient Mesopotamia to the modern day. Some were only trained to protect the royal families, while others were trained both as guards and elite troops on the battlefield. Ones like the Persian Immortals and Varangian Guards, hope I'm pronouncing that right, were the special forces of their days who are forerunners of modern special forces like the U.S. Navy SEALs and the British SAS. If there was one warrior in history that IDW should introduce, that is the samurai. The armor the samurais had, especially the helmet, is the most artistic than any other warriors in history. Both the Equestrian Royal Guards and samurais have a bitter rivalry because both sides claim they are the best warrior in the world. In an IDW idea, Celestia would send a young Flash Sentry to an MLP version of Japan as an attaché to study the samurai culture and tradition. While there, he would make friends with some, like his master, who showed him the katana and made one adversary who he needs Twilight's help with. While there are good guards, some have gone from bad to worst. This would be the opportunity for the Black Knight from the Arthurian legend because he is the most popular bad guy. His backstory will be different, but he symbolizes death and destruction due to the color of his armor, and a mist surrounds him wherever he goes. An idea is that a tournament is held for every royal guard and warriors to participate in the claim to the title of Deadliest Warrior. This is influenced from a TV show on Spike called Deadliest Warrior, where scientists, doctors, and historians compare two warriors in history to see who is better than the other.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever watch that?
I think I have.
Okay, so you know what
you're
talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
I figure, you watch more Spike in history than I do,
Yeah.
so that became more up your alley. But in this one, it's forbidden to kill, instead determined on the team's ability of endurance and teamwork. The goal is to help build trust between these different warriors so they don't cause any infighting. Which warrior in history would you like guys like for IDW to at least have their armor shown? That's very deep. That's very in depth.
Yeah.
Although, I I have to take exception with the line that the Equestrian Royal Guard and Samurais have a bitter rivalry because both sides claim the best warrior in the world. I don't know. There were times in the show where I thought the Royal Guard was very, how do I put this lightly, incompetent. And one of the fellow reviewers, Commander Firebrand, will attest to that because he started making running gags about how incompetent the Royal Guard is.
Wasn't the Royal Guard saving Equestria every time something come up? It was Twilight.
No, but that's because they were always so easily overrun by all the villains.
Yeah.
That was kind of the big issue.
So what good are you?
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it's definitely it's a nice idea. It's definitely very, very an in-depth idea.
Oh, and by the way, in the end of the end.
Oh, the ending of the end. Yes. Yeah.
You got your butt kicked by a little girl.
Yeah. Speaking, Cozy Glow, we will be referencing here. But
Cozy Glow.
Yeah, made it look very, very easy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
you got your butt kicked by a girl. A little girl. Not even a woman.
Yeah, a little
girl.
Yeah. So
so
yeah, I don't know about that, but
I don't know.
It's like I said, intriguing idea, but comparing the Royal Guard to the samurai,
no,
I don't think that's a good comparison.
Not even close.
Okay, a chance for Cozy.
I want to hear this one.
Guess who it's by? Alexia Pony Lover 95, who's done a lot of these before.
Okay.
So we've heard a lot from this one. Hello, every creature. So before we get started on this topic, I will say that I'm actually all for keeping Cozy Glow stoned alongside Chrysalis and T-Rex. And she shouldn't be let out at all. That's with an exclamation point. That said, I still want to explore the topic of Cozy's reformation if the ponies one day decide to release her and give her another chance. So let's recap on Cozy's crimes against Equestria first, shall we? She first tried to drain all the magic from Equestria through a magic portal, believing that friendship is power and rule Equestria as the Empress of Friendship. And I might add that she's not even a unicorn, but a Pegasus. How she created a magic portal on her own, I have no idea.
Actually, I think she's an owl. Isn't she an alicorn because she's got wings and a horn?
No.
Oh.
No, she's always been a Pegasus, yeah.
I thought she was an alicorn.
Okay. When they had when the Terrible Trio had the power, it turned her into an alicorn. You got to remember, she wasn't always, she's not an alicorn by birth. No.
Okay.
Yeah, not like Flurry Heart. No. Then she had a hoof in causing chaos during Celestia and Luna's last Summer Sun celebration in the Summer Sun setback, messing up the weather patterns in order to steal the spell book with Chrysalis and T-Rex. And finally, the ending of the end. Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she turned into an alicorn. There you go. Aimed and fired directly at Twilight, and then proceeded to take out Celestia and Luna. Need I say any more? Remind me again when people believe Cozy should be let out? Well, let's explore that now. The obvious first is that Cozy is a kid after all, unlike Chrysalis and T-Rex, who are full-grown adults and live much longer than Cozy. She still has a full life ahead of her if she were to be let out. By the way, if she was to be let out, is she still the same age in a little filly's body, or she'll be older and has grown bigger? That's an intriguing thought. She can still learn a lot, see the error in her beliefs, maybe be reaccepted in the school of friendship. And we don't know about Cozy's past too. That's the biggest thing. Like, we never got a backstory.
True.
She could have these messed up beliefs because her family didn't treat her right and abused her. Although I have the theory that Cozy is related to Biscuit and Spur from growing up is hard to do. Whoa. There's a theory I didn't expect.
Okay.
That's out of left field for me. Wow. I did not think that would be okay.
Biscuit and Spur.
So the young ponies that the grown-ups run into.
Okay.
With Bluefy, with their pet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna dispel that theory right now because they were brother and sister.
Okay.
So
yeah. Right.
Unless you get incestual, no.
Oh, Spur's hair looked like Cozy's when Joshua first saw it.
Okay.
Yeah. So you could make the connection based on that.
But unless they were like a sister, that it definitely wouldn't be their daughter.
Right.
That's their brother and sister. Biscuit and Spur are brother and sister.
Right. And well, I guess there is the question of who would be the one to reform Cozy successfully. The CMCs are a possibility, being the ones who first reached out to her, yes. Although maybe they wouldn't be as willing the second time around.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't. Another option could be Diamond Tiara, which Sawtooth Waves explained in a video of his, so I wouldn't talk about that. Okay, so that's already been explained. So, yeah, I could certainly see that, though. That would be very intriguing. Yeah, that would make sense.
Diamond Tiara was kind of mean and
yes. So she would have first hoof knowledge. Yeah. And well, another possible option could be Equestria's youngest and newest princess. No, not Twilight. Flurry Heart.
Yeah.
Maybe Cozy could be taken to the Crystal Empire to start a reformation, since the rest of Equestria probably wouldn't be as open to having Cozy around.
That's true.
That's really. See, I don't know which one intrigues me more, Flurry Heart or Diamond Tiara.
Honestly, if I had to pick, I'd say Diamond Tiara.
Yeah.
She has
because she's had the experience. Yeah, Flurry Heart is she's still young.
We don't know.
Right. Of course, if Cozy was to be let out, what's not to say she would go back to being evil, and well, definitely Cozy would have to have some pony, probably even several royal guards watching over her 24/7 to make sure she isn't up to something. Cozy figured out how to open a magic portal to drain all of Equestria's magic. What's not to say she'll figure out a way to release Chrysalis and T-Rex from their stone prison as well, and with the two attempt to take over Equestria again.
And then here's a question I have.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is going back to Shadowplay, the last two.
Oh, yes. Of Season 8.
Season 8?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
When they're basically, as far as I understand it, basically in limbo.
Yes.
Kinda,
yes.
Because they're frozen in stone.
Yes.
AKA frozen in time. So, when the ponies let out the pillars from their purgatory and they face the Pony of Shadows, their limbo, Star Swirl says, you can't only bring us back. You can't bring the pillars back. And then he says, and then Twilight says, well, I did. He says, you can't bring only the pillars back. They brought the Pony of Shadows back too.
Right.
Here's my question. If they let Cozy glow out, they were all frozen.
They're all frozen together. Wouldn't you think then that all three would have to be out together? Yeah, that's a good point. That could totally debunk that whole thing.
Can you only let
one out, or would it have to be all three?
It would probably have to be all three, because
if you go based on what Star Swirl said,
if you take Cozy Glow out of the stone, they were all frozen in stone together as one statue.
Right?
So wouldn't that free all of them?
You would think.
And I don't think there is any hope at all for Chrysalis or T-Rex.
Especially not Chrysalis.
Yeah.
I saw something earlier today. Chrysalis made Watch Pony's top 10 list, or Watch Pony was Watch Mojo. You know, WatchMojo.com. There's all those top 10 lists.
Yeah.
Chrysalis made the top 10 of characters that cannot be reformed, like no hope for reformation.
Huh. I'll have to look that up.
And I said that makes sense. It made sense to me.
I watch Mojo.
Yeah, because I never saw any hope for Chrysalis because she was just so bent on getting revenge on Starlight.
I mean, she thought about it for like maybe one
a millisecond. Yeah, like a millisecond. And then she had to snap herself out of it. No.
Yeah. I honestly do think there might be a little bit of hope for Cozy Glow because, you know, she got along with Chrysalis and T-Rex.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And she has learned some things.
It's
just a matter of, do you use your power and your knowledge for
good or for evil? Yeah.
She has it.
Yeah. I mean,
she learned it.
Yeah, she learned it at the school. Yeah, I mean, that's what she went to the school for. But to some degree, you know.
She learned it, though.
Yeah, she did learn it. But that wasn't her ultimate goal.
And she was nice to the ponies in Remember What Lies Beneath?
Right.
You know, when they were all tired, she says, I'll talk to Twilight and tell her what happened.
Right.
Get you extra time. She can do it. It is possible. I think a reformation for Cozy Glow.
Exactly, Joshua. Yeah, she had her chance at the end of season 6 and didn't take it. I think she's referring to Chrysalis there, but because Starlight offered, you know, for her to be reformed, and she said nope. Yeah, and she said nope. I'm not doing it.
Or like, oh, sorry, it's to wear
and back again. Yes. Yeah. But yeah, she had her opportunity to be reformed, and she just would not take it because she was just so bent on revenge on Starlight, revenge on the main 6, or revenge on all of that. So she was just so bent on revenge.
And here's a weird thought: if Chrysalis would have been reformed, imagine how beautiful she would have been.
Oh, for sure.
When the changelings reformed, they got all kinds of beautiful on.
Yes, absolutely.
Just imagine how beautiful she would have
been. Oh, absolutely. Yes.
As the queen, as the leader.
Not that I have seen, but I am sure there's plenty of fandom art out there what a reformed Chrysalis would look like. I'm sure of it.
Please, if anybody watches this, show us. I'd like to.
I would love to see fan art of that.
Oh yeah.
Maybe we should do that in the next video. It is episode 50. Maybe we should do it. I'll do some research, find some art, and see if I can find that for episode 50.
Oh yeah.
Because that would be really cool to find some. So kind of like what we did with the Ember and Smolder from the art, and find some cool art of that.
I say this for episode 50. We get away from the topics, and just make that a special one-off episode of like all the fan art that you find that we like.
Oh, okay.
Just all the characters for that one episode.
Huh?
Do like a special.
Okay.
The 50th episode. That'd be cool.
That would be cool. I'm not gonna deny it. That would be very cool.
So,
yeah.
We'll talk about that. That's not an official announcement.
Right. Yeah.
Per se.
Yeah, but it's an idea. It's an idea. We want to do something big for the 50th episode, of course. But yeah, that's certainly an idea.
That is a milestone.
Yes, it is.
Of course, I haven't been here for all 50. And technically, we haven't been Dash Bros for 50.
Right. To keep the number the same. But in terms of the total, from where this started, So let's see. Okay. Back to the article. In any case, reforming Cozy would be quite no guarantee that it will work, but there is still a chance and possibility for it to happen. Either that, or we get the ending of the end too.
Is this? Oh,
it's my razor symbol. That's the razor symbol for the keyboard. Yeah. So yeah, no, that's
random. I know.
That's very well said. That's a good article. That's Electro always comes up with some really good ideas, and so that's very good, very very good.
That's my favorite. Is it a guy or a girl?
I mean, we don't. That's the thing. We don't know. That's the thing. We don't want to assume. So we don't know. So all right. Next, Self Entitlement is Not Magic by Iron Yoshi. Ooh, love that name. No fandom is perfect. It's just common knowledge. Of all the fandoms I've been in, the Bernie community seems like one free of flaws, but as you dig deeper, there are a couple glaring issues. Yes, I agree with that. And perhaps the worst offenders, in my opinion, is the sense of self-entitlement many fans have.
Okay.
Now, what exactly do I mean by self-entitlement? Well, basically it narrows down to fans thinking that a certain thing must cater to them and them only, that they see themselves as a true fan that all others must meet by, and that they treat their own opinions as abject fact.
No.
Yeah, that is a prevalent problem throughout the fandom. I've seen that.
That's not cool.
No. Many fandoms are pretty guilty of this. Just take a look at Star Wars and Transformers.
Yes.
But the Brony fandom has unfortunately amassed its own form of self-entitled fans.
Mm-hmm.
They think the series must cater to their liking above all else, fall under the true fan mantra, and they treat their opinions as if they were fact.
What is the true fan mantra? Every fan is going to have a different.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah.
No opinion is the same.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, these people think that theirs only matters the most to anybody.
I see where that's a problem.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I've seen plenty of self-entitled bronies across the board, and they're an impossible lot to deal with. The ones that think that because they didn't like a certain season, that means the show suffered because of it, that Hasbro needs to redo an entire season and let FIM continue forward despite the fact the cast and crew moved on to other projects, and that anyone who disagrees isn't a real fan. Stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, I can't even tell you, when the finale and people were freaking out about the finale and not liking it, and then the whole death threats thing to Big Jim and the rest of them, and
that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
And then saying no, you got to redo FIM all over because the ending sucked. Like, come on now,
redo the whole series.
Yeah, there were people saying redo the whole FIM because the ending sucked. I'm dead serious.
That's not a little crazy. That's a lot crazy.
It is a lot crazy. It's a lot crazy. So yeah. If there's anything wrong with being passionate about a show or thing, hell, there are a lot of things I'm personally passionate about, as is everybody.
Yeah.
The problem is letting said passion cloud your judgment like rose-tinted glasses.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would have loved an entire FIM season or spinoff focused on Celestia, but that probably won't happen, and that's fine. Hey, I would have loved one focused on the Young Six, but that's fine. There are healthy ways to express what you love, but putting yourself on a high horse, pun very much intended, isn't the way to do. Don't be like those fans who think the franchise must revolve around them and what they think. Stuff like that will only drag this fandom's reputation down further.
Yeah.
I think the show's lessons about friendship really need to be taken to heart in this case. Amen.
I'll agree.
Amen.
I'll agree to that.
I mean, my goodness, that's perfectly well said. That is, yes. The fandom needs to take that to heart. Yeah. Because I agree. There are unfortunately folks that think like that. And, it sucks, but at least there's others that aren't like that are, I think, the true representatives of what the fandom is about.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's well said.
Random thought. That was the end of the article.
That was the end of this one, yes.
Random thought. Something I did not know.
Okay,
y'all. I'm going to kind of expose myself a little bit, like my...
Oh, geez, keep your clothes on.
No, I know that. I knew you were going to go there. Uh-huh. Anyway. 18 and older, folks.
Yeah, right.
Well, yeah. But anyway.
Hey, say, Joshua got a laugh out of it.
Oh, yeah. No. You're not going to see any of that. But this person...
Iron Yoshi. Yes.
Brony, I'm going to guess.
Yes, probably.
Brony community.
Yes.
He's saying about the actors doing different things and moving on to other projects, doing different projects and stuff.
Yes.
Something I did not know, which was very cool to me.
Okay.
Starlight Glimmer.
Oh, Kelly Sheridan.
Also the voice of Barbie in the Barbie movie.
No kidding.
I had no idea.
No kidding. I did not know that either. That's cool.
One of my favorite stories is A Christmas Carol.
Okay,
I watched several renditions of it through my life.
Sure, of course.
Well, Barbie did a rendition of it, and I watched that just recently because I just like you know what? I like wholesome.
Of course.
If it's clean,
of course.
Whatever, I like it.
Of course.
I'm a 34-year-old man, okay, and I'm not, I'm straight, okay. But I will be honest, I like the Barbie movies because they're clean and wholesome and got good lessons.
Sure.
That's what I look for. I like the Barbie movies. Sue me. Kelly Sheridan is the voice of Barbie. I was seeing in the credits, and it said, including the voice talents of Kelly Sheridan as Barbie. And I got on Google. I'm like, I've heard that name before. So I looked up her filmography, and there it is, Starlight Glimmer. I'm like, I had dinner with Barbie.
Right.
That is so cool. Because when we go to cons live, as sponsors, if you get a high enough tier at the cons, you have the sponsor dinner.
Yep.
And guests of honor, characters, whatever. We had dinner with Kelly. What was it? Our first year as sponsors?
It had to have been. That was 2017, wasn't it? No, 2018.
2018.
Second year, because that's the poster. Yep. So 2018, second year. Yep.
And I had no idea.
Yeah.
Until I saw that in the credits, I'm like, whoa.
Because I'm of the belief that I think 2018 was the best group they've gotten so far for Guests of Honor. I think, with Kelly and Ian.
Yeah.
And Ian handling the Sunburst and,
minus
minus Larson. Yeah, we don't care about him. And Andrea Lindman and Caitlin Bairstow. So that group was incredible.
Yeah.
And so but that's a cool fact to know though. I did not know that either.
Huh.
So yeah, that's awesome. But no, that article, well said.
Yeah. Very well.
All right, this last one intrigues me. Princess Celestia was not out of character in season 9.
Okay.
By Chad Wutke. Hope I pronounced that right. Ever since the show ended, one of the most annoying things that has been going around in this fandom is the debate whether or not Celestia and Luna retiring from ruling Equestria was the right move for the show. Some even lashing out to say that she was betraying her kingdom and giving Twilight something she never asked for, thus deeming her to be out of character.
No.
However, I think that statement is outright ridiculous and wrong.
Yeah.
You see, Celestia's pretty much ruled Equestria by herself for 1,000 years, ever since she had to use the elements of harmony to banish her sister to the moon.
Yes.
Managing the tasks of raising and lowering both the sun and the moon, among being the one to lead all Equestria during times both good and bad in Luna's absence. Fast forward to the present day, and then comes Twilight and her friends, having been the ones to wield the elements of harmony after Luna's return as Nightmare Moon, thus defeating her and reuniting the two sisters to rule Equestria together once more. With the Royal Sisters no longer connected to the elements themselves at that point, it's a pretty common complaint from fans that they usually get their flanks handed to them by the show's present-day villains, and they do. However, it can be argued that with the passage of time and age, Celestia and Luna, while still pretty powerful alicorns, aren't as powerful as they used to be way back then.
Might be.
Furthermore, with Twilight and her friends having learned so much about friendship and having saved Equestria and beyond several times, it became increasingly apparent for the Royal Sisters that they were almost no longer needed to rule Equestria.
Not really, yeah.
Besides, Lauren Faust has said that part of her vision for the series was that Twilight would be the one to succeed Celestia as ruler. So seeing that this part of her vision was ultimately realized with the show properly ending on its own terms is by all means an honor.
Yeah.
Also, to be fair, with her serving as a mentor to Twilight, Celestia didn't exactly have the most development of any character in the show, since there weren't a lot of episodes dedicated to her and Luna. There really weren't. With all that in mind, that is why Celestia was never really out of character in season 9 to begin with. If for some reason you still can't accept it, then either go ahead and write your own version of what season 9 should have been, or just move on to another fandom that you want to be a part of.
Hey.
Don't be a jerk and attack others for liking something you don't, or demand that season 9 be officially redone, because that will never happen. Boom. Yeah. That's
a mic drop.
That is a mic drop. Yes. Yeah. And well put.
You bastards.
Yeah. You got a little picture of the end from Celestia from Pony Life there at the end.
What the hell is that?
That's Celestia in Pony Life form. Yeah, if you guys can't see it, I don't know with my phone, but yeah, not really, but still, yeah. So that's
Celestia looks like a little Billy.
Yeah. Well. Again, the Pony Life design is very, very different.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's just weird.
Yeah, it's very different. So. But of course,
that's just weird.
But of course, we've not seen that here yet in the States.
And I don't know if we ever will.
Right.
You bastard.
But no, these articles were so good. This was one of the better soapboxes we've had in a while, where all of them were just really.
We say that almost every.
We do. Well, okay, but like with all of them though, some of them it's just a few that stand out. But that with all of them, those were all I'd say really, really deep and really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially the one, maybe not the first one, maybe not the Warrior one as much, but the other ones, especially the one about Cozy Glow, I think, or the self-entitlement. Those two were
that one
were really good and well said.
The last two were
and well said.
Oh yeah.
All right. Let's check out FARC. Let's see if we can find a random weird news story. Let's see if, especially if anything can beat that Detroit story. I still think it's going to be hard to find anything that beats that guy in Michigan. I think.
That or the shark teeth.
Yeah, or the shark teeth, yes. Let's see. Oh, gosh. Oh, this with the dumbass tab. Oh, my God.
One of them got him laughing.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Just reading this alone just intrigues me.
We'll make it through the article, everybody.
I hope so. Pro-life tip. When planning fake bombs, don't have 163 pounds of weed in your vehicle. Police uncertain what to do with 400 pounds of weed.
What? Okay.
Oh, my gosh.
You got me intrigued.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my.
Okay. This might top the Michigan story.
Oh, God.
Police, man suspected of placing fake bomb in Omaha, had 863 pounds of marijuana in his car.
Good God.
What are you doing with that much? Oh.
That's almost a ton of weed.
Oh my gosh. I can't even.
That's half a ton of, almost half a ton.
So this is in a big town too. This is in Omaha, Nebraska. Yeah, Joshua. How do you respond to that? He didn't even know how to respond to that.
Yeah.
How do you respond to that? On Monday, a judge set bond at $2 million. $2 million bond for a man accused of planting a fake bomb in downtown Omaha last week. The Douglas County Sheriff's Office arrested 25-year-old Thomas Truba in connection with a suspicious package left and found near the Douglas County Courthouse on Friday afternoon.
Oh, lovely.
Well, yeah, Tippecanoe County can kind of relate to that in a way.
How? You
remember what happened at Tippecanoe County way back when, like in the 90s, when someone drove the truck through and tried to bomb it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Authorities said surveillance camera video showed Truba took 2 boxes from his back seat, set them on the sidewalk near the courthouse around 2 p.m., and then drove off. After evacuations, the Omaha Police Department's bomb squad arrived, using an explosive charge to render the packages safe. Authorities learned the packages contained no explosive devices.
Oh.
So they were fake. Investigators discovered multiple illegal substances in Truba's vehicle, including MDMA, codeine, drug paraphernalia, and 863 pounds of marijuana.
Where did he have all of that? Sheesh.
They also found more than $400,000 in cash.
There you go.
Oh my goodness.
Tax evasion, anyone? Shit.
Yeah, right? No, Joshua, a bomb is probably not the best way to disguise something. No. Truba faces a felony charge of threatening explosive use / placing a false bomb, possession of a controlled substance, and a misdemeanor count of obstructing government operations.
Okay.
The threatening the use of explosive charge carries up to 2 years in prison and a $10,000 fine.
Wow.
I just...
Appropriately tagged. How dumb are you?
Yeah, that's... I don't know what's crazier, the 863 pounds of marijuana or the $400,000 in cash.
Wow.
Why not both?
Give me some of that. Give me some of it.
And how you obtain that.
Yeah.
I mean, my goodness, dude. And you're 25. And you're...
Good Lord, that must have been some good weed he was
I guess. Good grief, dude.
I don't know.
At least he can cover the fine with that money.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Well, actually, no. That money's probably seized.
Yeah. That money is probably now the property of the Omaha Police Department. Does that beat the Michigan story? Yes or no?
Damn close.
Pretty close. That's pretty close. I don't know if it quite does, but
as far as dumbassness,
yes, but it's close. I don't know if it quite does quite entirely, but that's the closest anything has come to beating the Michigan story.
Yeah,
that's pretty close, dude. That much weed and that much cash on you.
You're having a bad day when you get that.
The Michigan story yet, Joshua? Okay, check out a couple episodes ago. I think that was either episode 46 or 47.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was a couple ago. With the Detroit guy on his lawn. Like,
long story short, guy calls the cops because he's pissed about kids going through his lawn.
Yes.
He's got a shotgun on his lap. He gets arrested, and he resists arrest. It's total stupid.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, it was absolutely totally stupid. And yeah, you've got it. Yeah, Joshua, check it out because it absolutely had us rolling. So it was absolutely insane. So make sure you check that out. All right. On to the cup of topics. Yes. Here we go.
Stars represent the West.
Stars represent the West. This is about the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs, and we are now to the Stanley Cup final. And a surprise candidate from the West. I don't think anyone could have predicted the Dallas Stars coming out of the Western Conference. I certainly didn't.
Yeah.
I did not think that they would come out of that. In fact, I had them losing their first round series to Calgary. I did because I thought Calgary had been playing really well at the time. But I tell you what, Dallas has been nothing short of impressive. I will give them credit. They have knocked off really two Stanley Cup favorites in the last two series, taking out Colorado in 7 games. Even though I knew, like, you're not surprised by anything that happens at this point. I mean, yeah, it's a bubble environment. It's 2020. It's been a wild year in sports.
Yeah,
I guess we can't be too surprised. But Colorado played so well in the first round series against Arizona. Like, do you remember Colorado beat Arizona the last 2 games by back-to-back scores of 7-1? Like, Colorado was looking really good. But then I kind of knew that series was over when the Avs lost Philip Grubauer, their really good goalie.
Yeah.
To injury early on. Injuries really killed the Avalanche the rest of the way. So I kind of feeling the series was over. Even though they were down 3-1, and the Avs actually started coming back a bit, I thought, no, that there's no way they're turning this around. There's no way Dallas is going to choke this lead away. They're going to win that series. Mm-hmm. Now, the bigger shocker was them taking out the Vegas Golden Knights. That was the bigger surprise. And not just taking them out, but dominating them. They won that series in 5. In 5 games. Like, I was totally blown away at that because Vegas roster-wise, like top to bottom, is very solid. You know, they have a lot of great goal scorers, 2 good goalies with Fleury and Robin Lehner, and just so much talent up and down the roster. And you would have thought that if Colorado had been out, that Vegas would have represented the West.
Yeah.
And, and that would have been your choice because you like Vegas.
Mm-hmm. And they've been good ever since they joined.
Ever since they joined the league because they got such good players in the expansion draft. They were so fortunate to get a really good expansion draft and get some really good players to them. Absolutely. But the way that Dallas just dominated, Dallas has found an offense. Like, before the playoffs, like, Dallas was known for, like, they couldn't score. That was their big knock. They couldn't score. Like, they were in these low-scoring games. They really didn't have much of an offense. And now with guys like Joe Pavelski from the Sharks, who was really good for years, and I knew he was good because I watched him in San Jose for all those years. He's doing great things. And they're young guys, Jamie Benn, Kiviranta, who's had like 5 goals the past several games. I think I forget a couple of other guys off the top of my head, but still, it's a young, talented team with a lot of goal scoring talent, and they have a really good goaltender in net, Anton Khudobin. Is just absolutely crushing it. Like, he's been the big reason. Ben Bishop has been out. He's been hurt. Okay. And so Khudobin has stepped up and done really well. And he was the big reason the Stars actually beat the Lightning in game 1. Like, so what worries me now is if Tampa cannot figure out Khudobin, if they cannot solve him, I don't see how Tampa honestly wins the cup. I don't, because you've got to have a strong goaltender along with a solid offense to win championships. And unless Tampa can find a way to really figure him out, then I worry, how they're going to move on. So I don't know. It's going to be tricky. But Dallas, here's the thing. You get hot during a postseason. You get hot and you go on a run, and here you are, and here you are in the final. So, and teams, that happens all the time. Mm-hmm. So I got to give Dallas kudos and credit just to get to this point, knocking off two really good teams. They are legit, they are legit. And so far they've shown it after game one, and Tampa can't think this is going to be a cakewalk.
No,
they can't think this is going to be an easy series because, Tampa really, hasn't been like tested too bad because aside from the Islander series, but, they had a couple injuries, but they have depth,
Mm-hmm.
Let's not forget that they've done this without Stamkos. So, but they need to solve Khudobin. That's going to be Tampa's big thing. But if Dallas keeps that offense going, and if they keep getting that solid play in net, they could surprise. They could end up winning it. They really could. It would not shock me. So I got to give kudos. Kudos to the Dallas Stars. They've done some really nice things. Oh yeah, that's the end of that one. that was the I thought you were handing me the new one, but that's okay. That's the one we've already done. Okay, on to the next.
There you go. Very critical pony life review.
Okay. I saw this on Facebook and I had to take a screenshot of it because I was so like. This is one of the most critical ones that I have seen. Like, okay, there have been a lot of people critical about Pony Life. We know this. There. Even though we haven't seen it here in the States, there have been a lot of people very, very critical. But now some do like it, and that's fine. And I can't form an opinion yet because I haven't seen it. But I had to, if I can find my files here. Yeah, I had to take a screenshot of this.
Isn't it in your photo? Or your camera?
It should be. Let's see. Well, I thought that I did. I thought I took a picture of it. Or did I download it? No. I thought for sure that I posted to Twitter. I thought for sure I took a picture of it. Even that camera didn't work that day. Well, I saw it on Facebook, though. I wonder if I can find it on Facebook. Because someone posted a very, very critical review of Pony Life. Like it was on my Facebook feed. Let's see if I can find it here. Oh, I think I know where they posted it. They posted it in my My Little Pony group that I'm on Facebook. My Little Pony Friendship is Fun group. Yes, that's where they posted it. That's where I saw it. Let's see if I can find it here. I thought for sure I took a picture of it, but I guess I didn't.
How long ago was it? Was it a couple days ago? Was it a week ago?
No, it was only a few days ago. It was only just a few days ago that they posted it. Come on. Let's see.
All right, so obviously
gosh, there's one there. Discord for president. I would not vote for Discord though, honestly. I would not.
Starting with James Robinson. Now, if you've been watching the show, then you know that I continually hype him up, and I'm going to keep doing it. 102 yards. I'm 16.
Here it is. I found it right here from John Simone. Here it is. This is very, very critical. Remember when MLP had character development, meaningful lessons, and treated its characters with respect and seriousness? Me too. Pony Life essentially took all of that and tossed it out the window.
Ooh.
It turned characters like Twilight Sparkle and Rainbow Dash, among others, into flounderized, exaggerated archetypes of themselves, omitting all nuance and subtlety from their personalities. Accordingly, Pony Life essentially replaced the amazing lore, continuity, and magical elements that made it great, and instead put in social media jokes, modern technology, among other cringy stuff, makes it a complete turnoff, all the while dumbing down the writing and creating dumb, unfunny humor. As I have problems with Star Wars The Clone Wars for retconning the previous continuity of the Clone Wars multimedia project and undermining various characters and their abilities, among other things, the same concept applies to Pony Life, only while it doesn't change continuity like the Clone Wars, it makes a mockery of the previous series. I really miss FIM.
Yeah. And Joshua says, what could go wrong with Discord as president?
You don't want to know the answer to that question. I'm sure a lot could go wrong with Discord as president.
But yeah,
but I read that and I'm like, damn.
That's definitely a damn.
Like, wow. Now, again, I have not watched because we haven't seen it here, so I cannot formulate an opinion. But if there is any truth to that at all, wow, that is yikes.
Yeah.
Like, if they really have dumbed it down that much, like and like I said, and we need to remind ourselves though that Pony Life is not Gen 5. Like, we need to keep reminding ourselves that it's only kind of like an in-between. It's a go-between. It's Gen 4.5. It's just a temporary stopgap filler until Gen 5 begins. So we don't want to, get too much into it. And again, if you like it, okay, there's nothing wrong with liking it. But I rarely see anyone, like very rarely do I see positive reviews for it. Like very, very rarely. Like mostly everything I have seen on Pony Life is negative. Yeah. And I don't know if it's just because that the art style is different or the characters are different or what, or
no idea.
Or apparently, if this person says that they've completely, sucked those characters that we came to love from FIM, into completely different themselves. We can't base anything off of that because we haven't seen it for ourselves. But
I don't know if we will, considering how critical everybody is.
And did I not say that that's part of my theory why it's not here, because everyone was being so critical of it? That's pretty much my theory. Like, and I tweeted as much again. I tweeted and I said, and I think I talked with Grayscale about this. You don't know who Grayscale is. We talk on Twitter a lot. But I talked to Grayscale and we said, it's part of the fact that Hasbro is missing an opportunity to market it for marketability because they're not being transparent. They're not being completely transparent on anything regarding if they're going to bring it here or not, or a start date or not. They're missing an opportunity. And it's just it's a complete missed opportunity. But if stuff like that, if that's or what people are getting out of it, yikes. I don't even know then if I want to see it because that says a lot, to me. That I don't know what you think about that, but because I don't want to speak for you, but that's a lot. I don't have words for that. No, that they're really so. I'm still holding out hope that we'll get to see it here on some platform in some capacity. Yeah. But still no announcements. So I don't know. I hope we do. But so I can at least form an opinion. Yeah. But without anything to go on, it's like I'm grasping at straws. It's like like I got nothing. I got nothing to go on. So. But yeah, anywho, very critical. Just the most critical scene.
2 weeks of NFL, lots of losses and injuries.
Oh, yes. Football is back. Yes, because it is fall. The NFL is back. And a lot has gone on over those first couple of weeks. And with the teams that I follow, there's some good, but there's a lot of bad. Okay, Joshua, so you've seen people post reaction with the episode there, so watch those if I need to. Oh, okay. Huh. Okay. That's fair.
Well, we usually don't watch reviews because we don't want to have it spoiled.
Well, but it depends on like where you are going to try to find it too.
Yeah.
But NFL, I've seen some good from a couple teams. Oh my gosh, the Seahawks. Right now, I will say the teams that follow probably the Seahawks look the best. Russell Wilson and company look absolutely. That game last night against New England was absolutely incredible. So fun to watch. Back and forth battle between those two teams, Russell Wilson and Cam Newton. And
Pete Carroll needs to learn to run for 1 yard.
Gosh, yeah. And Seattle got so lucky again.
Yes.
Like they have a 3rd and 1, and they decided Russell Wilson to throw this floater, not even close to the receiver.
80
Yeah, like 40, 50 plus yards. And we're like, what are
Why?
you doing? You have Chris Carson, you have Carlos Hyde, and it's like, what are you?
You can't even get 1 yard.
What are you doing? And so we're
Had they got that 1 yard, they probably could have knelt out.
exactly. Cam Newton had a chance to do it, and so then the Patriots get the ball back, and then Cam almost scores. They get down to the 1, and you know that on that final play, you know that Cam's gonna run, but thankfully the Seahawks they saw it
4 or the 5, and they got stopped at the 1. I think.
Yeah. They saw it. Seahawks read it perfectly. They read it like a book. They saw it coming, and they flipped Cam backwards, and he did not get in. And Seattle survived 35-30. Whew, it was so close. But I love what I'm seeing from Seattle.
Yeah.
If you let Russell Wilson do his thing, if you don't hold him back, he can make the plays. He's got plenty of talented receivers with Lockett and Metcalf and now Olsen there and all of his crew. And then when he runs and makes the runs happen, kind of like Cam in a way. Seattle's going to be good. So Seattle's going to be very good. But also Arizona. Like Arizona also is really good this year. The Cardinals are 2-0 after 2 weeks. And with Kyler Murray. And Kyler, he's very similar to Russ. He can make plays with his legs as well. He's had some rushing touchdowns as well. But plenty of talent there in Arizona with, Kenyon Drake at running back and the receivers with Fitzgerald there. And now DeAndre Hopkins there in Arizona, his top weapon now. Christian Kirk. I mean, and the defense played well this week. Arizona is going to be a fun team to watch. Well, the NFC West is just like loaded because you got the Seahawks at 2-0, you got the Cardinals at 2-0, you got the Rams at 2-0, you got the 49ers at 1-1. Okay. So, but the 49ers also got hit hard by the injury bug this past week. So, as for everyone else, the Colts, the Colts won this week, and that's nice. But I think that was more of a byproduct of Minnesota being awful. Like Minnesota is just bad. Like Kirk Cousins' stat line was something like we're getting close to Halloween. It was straight out of Halloween. Like 11 of 26, like only like 115 some yards, 3 picks. Had a passer rating of like 15 point something. Yeah. And at halftime, it was 0.0. Like, seriously, his passer rating at halftime was 0.0. That's as low as it gets, unless you go in the negatives. And it's like, so I don't know if it was just, Minnesota being that bad or the Colts finally playing well enough. Probably a little bit of both. But so it was nice that the Colts looked good. Colts had a couple injuries. Of course, they already were without Marlon Mack. But, dude, Jonathan Taylor – like he looks the part. Like Taylor played out of his mind yesterday. He had over 100 yards rushing. So Taylor looks the part. So Taylor looks like he's going to carry that offense on the ground. So that's good. They did lose Paris Campbell to a knee injury, but still got T.Y. Hilton. You still got Mo Alley Cox, like the former VCU basketball player that at tight end had 111 yards receiving because Jack Doyle was out. So, dude, this guy is 265 pounds for a tight end, and he was making plays. He was balling out, so he could be a star in the making. So, and Rivers looked good. I think this could be potentially, if the Colts got things figured out and getting it together for that Jacksonville loss, then they can bounce back. As for everybody else, not pretty. Dolphins are 0-2. They are not looking to grow. Although they gave Buffalo a game yesterday. I was surprised they gave Buffalo a game. Like, I was surprised that game was close, like 31-28. I'm surprised that game was close. I'm surprised they gave Buffalo a game, but still 0-2. Texans are 0-2, but they've played Kansas City and Baltimore the first 2 weeks. They get two toughest teams in the AFC. You're probably going to lose both games. Yeah. So I don't really know much about Houston yet. And the Lions are 0-2. And the Lions just continue to suck ass, and it's just not very good. And they've blown double-digit leads both weeks. They led Green Bay 14-3, and they lose 42-21. But I think we're all laughing at Atlanta. I think everybody in the country is laughing at Atlanta because Atlanta Atlanta, they cannot figure out a way to not blow leads. You're leading the Dallas Cowboys 20-0 in the second quarter at Jerry World in Dallas with fans. And you blow that lead and you lose 40-39. And the onside kick, did you watch the onside kick video like I told you? Oh, yeah, I showed you that video, didn't I? Onside kick one, guys. How can you just stand? How many guys was it? Like 5 or 6 Falcons just standing over the ball like, I don't know what to do.
And doing this.
Like stay away. Like literally. If you have not watched that video, that onside kick, please do so. Because it is the funniest thing from the sports weekend. It is the funniest thing you will ever see.
The return team can touch it.
You can touch it.
Yards.
Yeah, you don't have to wait for it to go 10 yards. Dallas can't touch it. You can touch it. Fall on the football and you win that game, Atlanta.
Yeah.
But no, you gave Dallas, you handed them that game on a silver platter. Here you go, Cowboys. Unbelievable. And then everybody posting that Dan Quinn needs to be fired today. I don't know if it's the coach's fault or just someone has to take the blame, but that was absolutely the funniest thing I saw. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
Or are they as bad as the Jets?
I don't know.
Because the Jets are pretty awful too. And I
don't know.
And I told you off camera yesterday, and I'm going to stick to this. I think Adam Gase is not going to make the halfway point of the season. No. I think Adam Gase will probably be the first coach fired. I don't see how. What if you're a Jets fan? What reason do you have to be excited about your team? What reason do you have? Sam Darnold is not getting better. Your running game's a joke because Le'Veon Bell's hurt and Frank Gore now is your starter. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the ageless wonder that he is. You sent your best receiver to Carolina. Now he's balling out in Carolina, Robbie Anderson. Like your best receiver, Jamison Crowder, is hurt with a hamstring injury. Your defense sucks. Yeah, you have nothing to look forward to as a Jet fan, except maybe going 0-16 and getting the number 1 pick and getting Trevor Lawrence in the draft. So that's unless you're tanking for Trevor. That's so. But speaking of injuries, though, that is the big takeaway from yesterday, and it's the unfortunate side of things. But it was an injury week that I have never seen before ever. Like I was totally like, if you just scrolled through Twitter yesterday, I was having Twitter open and I'm watching the games. It's just injury, player leaves with injury, big player leaves with injury, there's injury after injury. And I'm like, what in the world's going on? The Athletic counted 40 players left the games with injuries yesterday. 40. That is nearly a full NFL roster. And some of these are big name players. And so for a fantasy team, for example, you're going to have to find, it's going to be a crazy waiver week because they're going to be people finding guys to replace these guys. And a lot of these guys are out for the year. Saquon Barkley of the Giants tore his ACL in his knee. He's done for the year. Cortland Sutton, one of the top receivers of the Denver Broncos, torn ACL, out for the year. Nick Bosa, the top defensive end for the 49ers, torn ACL, out for the year. Drew Lock of the Broncos, the quarterback, is going to be out multiple weeks with a sprained shoulder when he got shoved into the grass on a tackle. Let's see, Raheem Mostert for the 49ers, their top running back, had a knee injury. I think it's like an MCL sprain, but he's going to be out a couple weeks. The Colts lost safety Malik Hooker to a torn Achilles. Same injury that took out Marlon Mack in week 1. There was just so many. And that's just a small sample size, but there were just so many. Christian McCaffrey, the Panthers, is going to be out 4 to 6 weeks with a sprained ankle, so he's going to have to be replaced in your fantasy league. So really, think about it. The top 2 running backs in fantasy drafts, probably for the most part, are going to miss multiple games due to injury now. Yeah. So your top pick is now pretty much out the window for at least for a while if you're McCaffrey, but completely out if you're Barkley. So it is going to be a wild week on the waiver wire, and it's just. So it's going to be nuts. Now, fantasy-wise, like with our CBS league, it's not injuries that have hurt the fact that it's just been poor production from our players. Like week 1, our guys couldn't score any touchdowns at all. This week, it was better. We had some touchdowns. We were getting our doors blown off because these players on the other side are putting up 30, 40 points by themselves. Like it's just 2 or 3 players that are just putting up these buku fantasy numbers and going off. This week, we're down 123-84 because our opponent had Ryan Tannehill, who had 4 touchdowns and 34 fantasy points, and Aaron Jones, our MVP from last year, put up 40 40 against Detroit with multiple touchdowns. So yeah, it's just you take away those points and we're ahead. So it just it's just unbelievable that we're losing this way. But it's just I don't know. It's not a byproduct of our players being bad. It's just that we're running into really good buzzsaw teams right now. Now, the NFL league that we're doing, the NFL.com league, is the complete opposite. In that league, we're balling. Like, we are balling out in that league because we've got some really good players in that league that are doing some really good things for us. Matt Ryan's balling out. Zeke Elliott's balling out. Miles Sanders played his first game this week for the Eagles, and he balled out. Tyreek Hill, the cheetah from the Chiefs, he's balling out. Allen Robinson of the Bears. Robert Woods from the Rams, who's on both our rosters. He's balling out and got paid recently, which he deserved all that money to get his contract extension. Yes. So he deserves that. So the NFL league is doing really, really well. So it's looking like the stronger of the two right now. But I'm trying to at least, make some moves in the CBS league to get us better. I'm trying to, find the right players in the right spots, try to, maneuver around and find good gems of talent. But it can be tough. It can be tricky. So hopefully, just because we're 0-2, we're not panicking yet. It's still a long season. Right now, yes, our odds are slim, but you don't want to give up on it. We got to keep battling, got to keep fighting. So that's what I intend to do. So crazy NFL start, but it is a season unlike any other. So it certainly is, and we'll see what happens from here. Another thing though about the injury, and this was a wild story. So the 49ers, right? They lost a lot of players in that game against the Jets, right? Mm-hmm. They blamed the turf at MetLife Stadium. Apparently, it's sticky, is what they claim. So that they're taking that as a claim for a lot of the injuries. So we'll keep an eye on that because the 49ers have to play next week again at that stadium against the Giants. So they got to go back to that same stadium and play next week. So we'll see what if anything comes out of that. So. But that wouldn't explain the other injuries that happened at the other stadiums, now would it? No. So I think it was a lot of people said this. I think it was the lack of preseason games. Yeah. You only got to do so much conditioning, so much off-season work that they were saying that potentially soft tissue injuries could happen.
Properly conditioned.
Right. And so that was their fear, and then we saw it yesterday happen to a lot of players. So. Sucks, but injuries are a part of the game, and you got to adapt and move on and next man up and that mentality. So, So we'll see how it comes about. Mm-hmm. On to the next.
Bolts, you got lucky to win the East.
Did they ever? Let's talk about the Tampa Bay Lightning. Yes, they. Okay. Like, okay. Full disclosure. This might shock you. No pun intended, but this might shock you with me being a Lightning fan. I did not pick Tampa Bay to come out of the East.
Wow.
I did not. Because I honestly felt like the fact that I was scared to death that they were facing Columbus in the first round. Mm-hmm. I was, that's what happens when the season before you're the best team in the NHL, put up a record season, win the President's Trophy, record points, and you get swept in the first round by Columbus. And not just swept, embarrassed. Like Columbus dominated that series from start to finish. They got swept. And so when I saw they were playing Columbus again, I was genuinely scared that it might happen again. But Tampa proved me wrong. Thank goodness. Tampa proved me wrong, and they have played like the very good team that Tampa is. They beat Columbus in 5. They got past those demons, and then they took on Boston, who legitimately scared me because Boston was the President's Trophy winner this season. With their talent up and down the roster, and even though they didn't have Tuukka Rask for that series, our top goaltender, they still have Halak, who's a good goaltender, and Tampa pushed aside them in 5 games. So I'm like, wow, okay, Tampa finally is playing up to its potential, even though they didn't have Stamkos, and they still don't. They've lost a couple players. Point was out for a couple games. Braden Point, Killorn missed a couple games. So their depth is really being tested here. But the big thing is, it's depth, right? It's all about having depth in whether in fantasy and any sport. It's about having depth, and you've got to have the players step up and have that depth. And Tampa has shown that. Now the Islanders series, that was a real test too. Now Tampa did get out to a strong lead there, but then Tampa played a really awful game 5. Like I'm not kidding. Like when Tampa lost Game 5, like that was the most frustrated I've been in a while over a loss. Like no joke. Like I was sitting here, like watching the game and tweeting about everything, and like I was so mad after Tampa lost that game. Like this plastic puck here. You see the NHL Network puck right there? You see that puck? I threw it at that fan.
Damn.
Like I was that upset. Like I threw that foam puck at that fan. I was so upset that they lost. And then I literally took my Lightning jersey off and threw it on the couch. Yes, that foam one. Not the hard ones, obviously. I wouldn't want to break the fan, but yeah, this foam puck here. I threw it at the fan over there, and I took my Lightning jersey off and threw it on the couch. I was that upset, like because the Lightning played passive, okay, and you can't play passive against a team like the Islanders. The Islanders are fast. The Islanders are fast. They're quick. They don't give up. They're very, what's the word I want to use? Stubborn. Probably. They are stubborn. They're a stubborn team. They're very stubborn. And you can't let them hang around. And because Barry Trotz is a great coach, coached the Capitals to a Stanley Cup, and it's like now he's over in New York, got revenge on his team, beat Washington in the first round. But it's like I see this Islanders team, and I'm like, okay, they're really playing well, and they could be a big challenge for Tampa Bay. And Tampa got off to a great start, but it's like that Game 5, and it's like every time Tampa would get the puck, it was like either turnover in their own zone, or not shooting the puck. And I'm like, come on, guys, they were doing that all throughout the overtime of that game. It was 1-1, and the Islanders ended up winning 2-1 in overtime. Guess what? Off a turnover.
Yeah,
go figure. And it's like, you have got to be kidding me that would let that happen.
Uh-huh.
But thankfully, back then in Game 6, they turned it around. They played smart again, and they outshot the Islanders 48-27, and they won 2-1 in overtime. So they then went back to being the aggressor, which they should have been from the start. And, because that's the thing with Tampa. If they play that way, if they play the way they know how to play, being the aggressor, dictating the tempo, being out front, Vastly playing well in net, having the depth, scoring well, they can be the better team. And so while obviously the Game 1 result against Dallas was disappointing, but Dallas is really hot right now. I said it. The big thing is they've got to find a way to solve Khudobin in net and have that depth show up. And now, granted, they're almost healthy again except for Stamkos, and Stamkos probably still won't play. And another thing that kind of gets me. Twitter, social media throwing a big old fit. Oh, they touched the Prince of Wales trophy. They touched the Eastern Conference trophy. You're not supposed to touch it. Ooh, it's superstition. Dallas didn't touch their Western Conference trophy, but Tampa touched theirs. Ooh, now Tampa's going to lose. This superstition nonsense. Like it's all nonsense. Like I get it. It's a thing. It's a belief. It's okay. But Tampa, I think it was Stamkos that said, we didn't get here last year when we should have. We want to enjoy this moment. We were supposed to be here last year. We had an embarrassing choke job. We figured we'd touch it and enjoy the moment. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them for that. So yeah, did they get lucky? You're darn right they did, because it was a tough series against the Islanders. It was the toughest series yet. And now Dallas is going to be the toughest series yet. But I still have faith that, one game does not define a series. It does not. And I still have faith that if they can find a way to get the offense going, figure out how to solve Khudobin, and dictate the play that they can know how to dictate, they'll be fine. So, go ahead.
And maybe it's good that they lose, because now it's like anytime Tampa Bay loses, they're like, oh crap, we got to get our butts in gear.
Yeah,
they always play better after a loss.
When does Tampa lose back to back? Yeah, that does not happen often.
And they always play better after a loss.
Yes, they do.
They always play pissed off.
Yes, they do.
You will.
Well, again, Game 5 Islanders, Game 6 Islanders. Yeah, so clear night and day difference.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think Tampa knows that Game 2 now is important tonight. I know that they will play better, and I expect. Oh, you wanted.
Oh yes.
And I expect a win tonight.
I'm doing a stream with Chris.
All right, Willie and Kurt, thanks so much. And Kurt,
I start tomorrow.
Wednesday right back here on Total Access. All right, let's
Nope.
get you guys to another nail-biting game. Chiefs and Chargers. Justin
Okay.
Herbert, surprising first career NFL start after Toronto.
No.
The late scratch with a chest injury. Fourth quarter, Chiefs trail 17-9, second and 8. Patrick Mahomes by Tyreek Hill.
That's tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That'd be good. Just our show. Different topics and stuff. 9 to 2. Okay. When do you get home from work? After class. Okay. Okay. All right.
Conversely,
Yep.
I know we'll learn from it. And in the long
That'd
run,
be
it's
good.
gonna help us. And
Okay.
it might seem now.
Live streaming, folks.
Yep. Mom wanted to know how my job went today. I don't start till tomorrow.
Oh, okay. So she thought you started today.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wrong day.
She says hi.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Okay.
Excellent.
You
Excellent.
ready for the next?
Yeah. Yeah. I think I've talked about Tampa enough. Like I said, I just hope they're going to play better tonight, and hopefully they realize how important it is. Because if they go down 2-0, I worry.
Big Ten football caves into public outcry.
Oh, geez. Yes. Let's talk about the Big Ten. All right, Joshua. Thanks for tuning in. Yep. Catch the rest stream later. Thanks for stopping by. As always. All right. The Big Ten. The Big Ten, boy, the Big Ten has just been an absolute PR mess. You know, granted, when college football was starting up, there of course was a lot of uncertainty, a lot of questions, whether or not teams and conferences would play. And the NCAA said, okay, we're going to let you start in August, but it's up to your discretion whether you want to play or not. And it all depended on, testing and protocol and what have you, and temperature checks, everything on all that. Playing football among a pandemic, not easy. So each conference had to make its own decision. Now the ACC, the SEC, the Big 12, Sun Belt, the American, and I think I'm missing. Oh, and some of the independents all said, no, we think we've got good protocols in place.
Yeah.
We think, we can make this work. We're going to go ahead and play football. But there were others that said, we can't do it. The MAC, nope. Mountain West said, nope, we can't do it. Pac-12, and then the Big Ten was really the first big name, the Big Power 5 to drop and canceled on August 11th.
Okay.
Well, Commissioner Kevin Warren then got immediate flack for that decision from, who didn't he get flack from? Coaches, parents, players. I mean, you name it. The Big Ten took a lot of heat for making this decision. And there were protests led by players. Justin Fields, the Ohio State quarterback, had a petition, got a ton of signatures on it for the players to play and for the Big Ten to reverse course. There were Big Ten presidents that were actually saying, we don't know if actually there was a vote or not. Like, they didn't even know there was an actual vote. Like I think it was like the Penn State president and the Minnesota president said, like, we even know there was actual vote. We have no idea. So, but Warren said, no, there is a vote. There is a vote. And then everyone said, why aren't you being transparent about it? Why don't you say the results of the vote? And then you got Nebraska. Oh, good old jolly old Nebraska. Speaking of crazy, you got good old Nebraska saying, oh, we're going to revolt. We're going to try to play any way we can, even if it's outside the conference. Well, Warren shut that crap down real quick. Said if they do that, then you're leaving the Big Ten. So he shot that down real quick. And then Nebraska, 8 players then decided to sue the conference. Yeah, they're going to sue them for not being transparent about the vote, and not being transparent about this claim that there's this heart condition that players could potentially get if they get COVID, this myocarditis thing. And while that,
I haven't heard a thing of it.
And that's the thing, though. It's very few cases where it's actually happened. It's not like a big prevalent thing. But the Big Ten freaked out about it when they saw the Pac-12's medical data about it. And it said the Pac-12 said, we can't play because of that. The Big Ten's like, oh, well, then we can't either. So because they freaked out about it. So then Warren made his decision. So then you've got all these coaches. You've got Ohio State coach Ryan Day, Michigan coach Jim Harbaugh, Penn State coach James Franklin. All these coaches coming out and saying, no, we don't think this is right. We want to play. Of course, Nebraska, Scott Frost. Iowa's Kirk Ferentz. All these coaches come out and say, no, this was made too soon. This was, this was made too quick. We want to play. And
take a vote of the 14 schools and let majority rule. If majority rules,
well, and then Warren came out, and then actually after the Nebraska lawsuit, then Warren actually came out and made a statement and said, okay, there was a vote. It was 11-3. So
11-3 to play or 11
to postpone, not cancel, postpone to the
Okay.
spring. And he said the 3 descending schools were Nebraska, Iowa, and Ohio State. So, okay. And I thought that was the end of it. No, you still got these parents holding rallies outside the Big Ten offices. You've got parents from all the schools writing letters to Commissioner Warren's office.
And the spring would be,
well, if you played in the spring, it would be like March of 2021. And I don't know if you saw Purdue coach's proposal. Like Coach Braum laid out like a whole entire proposal of how to make it work.
I knew he did, but I didn't really see the ins and outs of it.
Yeah, and it was good. It was, I mean, I went through all the ins and outs. It was really in depth. Like he actually he touched on everything, like when to have practices, how to have practices, what days to have practices, what days to have games. Like it was all like completely laid out in detail. And I'm like, wow, coach, okay, how do you submit that to the league office? Like, this is good. Like,
and he knows football.
Well, yes, he does, hello, the XFL video.
Yeah.
So, if you don't know what we're referencing, check that out because it's really good.
Is this the XFL? Yes,
it is. Do I or do I not have a pulse? Yes, I do. Let's play football. Yeah, like it's brilliant.
And that came after 1 week of being knocked the hell out.
Exactly. Yeah. So
he gonna play.
Yeah. So.
Uh-huh.
So then, of course, time goes by, and you see these other leagues that are playing and doing fairly well, aside from maybe a few teams having to postpone a couple games due to COVID cases popping up, which is to be expected. But it's not like there's no like major outbreak affecting these leagues. And then they see that now they're getting better in testing and doing this kind of like rapid antigen testing that the Pac-12 has found, and so they can have results like the same day. So the protocols are getting better, testing is getting better, and then Commissioner Warren says, "Okay, well, maybe we'll bring the presidents back together and we'll think on it a bit." And but I also think, I think the pressure really in the end kind of really got to him. Like I think it did. Like, because also it's not just that. What else is big in college sports? Money.
Uh-huh.
You don't want to lose that sweet revenue you get from playing games and their TV deals and dude, you realize the Big Ten Network makes the most money for the conference teams, period. Like that is the biggest chunk of their budgets. Like I mean, I get it. The Pac-12 is their network. The ACC has their network. Like I get it, but the Big Ten revenue is the most, which is why it didn't make any sense for Nebraska. So we're going to leave the conference. That made no sense. That made no sense for Nebraska, to leave because they're not going to get that money. Like say they go back to the Big 12, you're not going to get half the money revenue because the Big 12. I don't even think the Big 12 has a TV network. I don't think they do. Because Texas has its Longhorn network, but I don't think the Big 12 has its own thing. Because the ACC does, and the Pac-12 does, and the Big 10 does, but I don't think the Big 12 does. So you're not going to get the same TV revenue, not even close to the same TV revenue you were getting in the Big 10. So it made no sense. So I think at the end of the day, the Big Ten, once they realized, okay, maybe we did act a bit too early, maybe the information we had wasn't completely great. And the fact and the money factor, I think all of that led up to the fact that now they're playing football in the fall.
Okay.
And so they're gonna kick off October 24th. It's gonna be a 8-game schedule, well, including a 9th game, because I think this is cool too. They're gonna play 8 games, right? And then December 19th, which would be the Big Ten championship game, they're gonna have what's called a Champions Week or Champions Weekend. They're gonna have all the other teams play each other, East versus West based on their position in the division. So you're gonna have your championship game first versus first, which you're gonna have second East versus second West, third East versus third West, et cetera, et cetera. So you're gonna have each one play somebody based on their position. So that's cool. So you get a 9-game schedule. Now, what does it mean in terms of the playoff? Well, it means that now the Big Ten is going to be eligible for it. So your team, like say Ohio State, is now going to be eligible because Ohio State was like preseason ranked like number 2 or number 3. So now they're going to be eligible for the playoff once their season starts. So, because for right now, the only teams that are ranked are those that are playing.
Yeah.
And the SEC starts this week. So now the SEC teams will be ranked.
Okay.
So once the Big Ten starts playing, then they'll start getting ranked. So So I mean, is it a nice thing to see? Yes, but the biggest thing is the Big Ten's got to get it right. You know, if they're coming back, they got to do it for the right reasons and make sure that they can do it safely. That really is the biggest thing right now for these sports that aren't in bubbles. Because again, we've seen how well bubbles work with the NBA and the NHL and everything. I've mentioned this, how bubbles work well. College football is not in a bubble, so we are going to have obviously some canceled games, and we've seen that, or postponed games, and we've seen that. What? Oh, yeah. Michael Irvin freaking out about his Cowboys.
Did you not see the ticker? Largest first quarter deficit overcome, 20 points, resulting in a win in franchise history of the Cowboys.
Yeah, but dude, it's the Falcons.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, the Falcons just cannot keep leads. But no, I'm kind of like half and half on this. Like, I applaud the Big Ten for coming back, but make sure it's for the right reason. Like make sure you're doing it. I mean, yeah, money's important, yes, and yes, playing is important, yes, but you gotta be safe about it. So just don't be surprised if we get cancellations or postponements. It's okay, but just make sure. Hopefully, we're safe. Like that's the biggest thing at the end of the day. Because contrary to what some people think, the pandemic is not over. So and it won't be over fully till we get functional vaccine.
Functional, effective vaccine and effective testing.
Yes, yeah. Keep wearing your damn masks.
Yeah.
Screw your rights, as you've said.
Yeah. I have the right not to get sick. Screw you.
Right. All right. Is this the last one?
Yes.
This is the last one.
And closing it out with one that he won't even let me on, so I'll be as surprised as you are, you bastard.
I'm a bum.
Parody update and teaser.
Parody update and teaser.
I am just as surprised. I will be just as surprised as you are here because he's not letting me in on anything. So we're learning this together.
Yes.
He knows.
Yes, I know. Yeah. Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
let's see
So
this
first things first, of course, are the parodies that I've been posting every week on Pony FM. Again, thank you all for your plays and your support and your views. That, again, means the world. So far, I have 26 plays across the 3 tracks that I have posted.
Okay.
So very nice. But, of course, half of that is Queen of Your Land. That has been the most popular one.
Now, is this your next project or your next track release?
Sort of. It's kind of both. Well, I've been posting the track releases on Twitter. So Twitter is where you will find when I'm posting the tracks. And tomorrow I'll be posting the 4th track from Dragon Dedications. I'll post it on Twitter. I'll post the link. Of course, the link to my page is in the description below, as always. Pony.fm/spiky-dash. It's in the description below. So check out my parodies, please, if you want. And again, thank you for the kind words. But the last track that I'm going to post at the end of the month is kind of I want to say it's kind of a lead into what is coming next. I will say that. Now, and I will tell you this, like the holiday idea you gave me, like I liked it, but then I saw like the ton of songs like in the Phantom of Pony FM, and like a lot of people do the holiday stuff. Like a lot of people do that. Like there's a ton of songs about Nightmare Night. There's a ton of songs about Heartswarming. There's a ton of that. You know me. I've always wanted to be the one like outside the box, do stuff different. So that's me. So that's why I love the idea, but it's been done a lot. Yeah. So that's why overdone, overkill. Yeah. So that's why I'm not doing that. So, as well as that I have done the Student 6.
Yes.
I have done the Wonderbolts.
Yep.
I have done the Dragons.
Yep.
Why have I not done anything on Best Pony?
Oh, yeah.
And her compatriot.
Oh, Starlight?
The next set I'm going to do is Starlight, Glimmer, and Trixie.
Oh, that's gonna be.
Title is Star Trik's Magical Parodies. So yes, so that is my newest. That will be the set coming here after I release all the Dragon tracks. That will be always starting work on that probably in October, probably about mid-October. I'll say I'll probably start work on that, and that will be then released this winter.
Nice.
So yes, I figured it was about time. I've covered so many other groups that I've liked, from the show. It was like, why have I not done anything on Starlight and Starlight, especially Trixie? Because they're the dynamic duo, in a way. There are many dynamic duos from the show, but why have I not done anything on Starlight? And then I did the bonus track with Starlight, and then I thought, oh my gosh, I haven't done a set on Starlight yet.
No.
So I figured that would be like the perfect lead-in to doing a set on it.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
So Starlight and Trixie will be the next set. It'll be the fourth set of parodies that I do. So that is the teaser. So I'm obviously always excited to see what comes of this. And I kind of have a pretty good idea, of how I'm going to do it. Of course, it'll probably be like, every other track, there'll be Starlight track, then a Trixie track, then a Starlight track, then a Trixie track, just back and forth, throughout. And then the last track will probably be about both of them. So the last track 11 will be the one about both of them. So that's the plan I have. So
nice.
Yeah. So I'm very excited about that.
Okay.
So I wanted to surprise you, and I figured that would be a nice surprise to you.
Yeah.
Again, not that I didn't like your idea. I did, but it's been overdone. It's and then I just thought, I did the bonus track for the last one on Starlight. I'm like, why haven't I done a set on Starlight yet? And then just for kicks, when I throw Trixie into the mix.
Yeah.
Because again, there's so many possibilities with that. That's the great thing about doing parodies. There's so much material to cover from Gen 4, but I hadn't done anything on Starlight yet, and I thought, well, it can't just be Starlight. Got to include Trixie in there.
Yeah.
Because those two are inseparable. So
yeah.
So that's why it's going to be both. So excited to get started on that once I get all the Dragon ones uploaded to Pony FM, and then I'll start work on that in October. So looking forward to it. So very excited. So yeah, that's the big surprise.
Yeah.
And with that wraps it up.
Okay.
So, as always, excellent show as always.
Yep.
Always loaded, always a lot to talk about. And so then if we want to kind of keep on the same track, hopefully early October. Hopefully early October will be the next here in 2 weeks. So we'll keep on the same. If not, then the second week of October will then be if we want to get back on the same second, fourth week timeline. So it'll be first week of October or second week of October. Always, I will post on Twitter when we have a date set in stone. So stay tuned to my Twitter, of course, as always. Of course, check out, again, Pony FM in the description. Check out the parodies, as always. Thank you again for your support on that. And we will see you here in a couple weeks when the month of October begins. So for Apple Dash, I'm Spiky Dash. Thanks for tuning in, ATDB. Until the next, have a good night.